Hello, everybody. Um, I'm a Nigerian, and my name is Orwell Injirika. I want to tell you something about how we can develop this country and how what I have learned so far, and some of the things I've learned so far staying in Abuja and how best we can develop this country. If you're genuine enough and if you have good enough integrity. Now, there's something called public-private partnerships, right? Public-private partnerships. It's actually a little bit of a complex and a simple thing. Complex because if you don't know it, you don't know it. Simple because if you know it, you know it. Sorry about that. All right, now let me get down to it. Public-private partnership is a means of doing business or establishing something, anything, with the private, with a private company or private companies and a government or governments. And that's what we call public-private partnership. It can come in so many different ways where we have the build, operate, and transfer. We have asset acquisition. We have build, operate, and own. Different method of public-private partnerships. I believe you can probably go to this website here and then fix this yourself. Now, back to what I was actually saying about how we can develop Nigeria. But before that, please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, just click it. Is it here or there? Somewhere. So just click somewhere. Click it. Thank you. Have you clicked it? All right, thank you. Now let's go on. So public-private partnerships are something that people can do with any government, like provided that maybe you have the network or you can be patient enough with the government because those guys they take a long time to process stuff. Trust me, some of them do. Yeah. So now, these public-private partnerships are such that you can actually, let's say you want to build a factory, for instance, or maybe there's a moribund factory, something that has been dilapidated for some time, like maybe the Enugu Sunrise Flour Mill or the Enugu United Palm Products, stuff like that. By the way, these two projects I was involved at the background when it comes to financial analysis and business strategy. Yeah, I was involved in two of them. So I believe I know what I'm talking about in public-private partnerships. Now listen up. Okay, so the thing about public-private partnerships, right, is that you can actually strike a deal with the government and they honor it and they go through all the process, all the legal process, all the finance process, all the checks and balance, and you are there. Now it gives you leverage in the sense that if you look at these projects, right, the Sunrise project, right, the Sunrise Flour Mill. By the way, I was there some months ago to do some evaluation. I believe I'll probably put a picture here somewhere. This thing is something that you can, when you approach the government, you tell them what you want to do. Maybe they honor or reject your proposal. And then if the governor is serious and you have good network around that state, you can most likely get attention. If the governor is serious to revitalize that project and you give a good proposal, I mean they should accept it possibly. And then now they've accepted this stuff right from you, and then it's now a thing of how do we now develop this project. Now it gives you leverage in the sense that the asset is already there. And all you have to do is maybe revitalization, or you now have to do maybe something you get, but you get leverage. Let's say, for instance, if you want to go into agriculture, for instance, and maybe you want the government to back that investment, you come to them and say, okay, no, I want 3,000 hectares of land, or I want 10,000 hectares of land to produce this amount of agriculture. This is the effect it's going to have on your economy as a state and on the nation, right? And then they've now come to a consensus and they say, okay. This is how we're going to do this stuff, and then you guys reach an agreement depending on the type and structure of the PPP, public-private partnerships. Now, it can be in such a way that because of you've now had that land, and then the government can now say, okay, you know what, we're going to give you land and we're also going to give you security. We're going to give you land and we're going to give you security. Now you have security on that investment and you have land from the government. Now maybe the government can maybe have a dividend and maybe a couple of percentage while you have the controlling share depending on the agreement, or it's a build, operate, and transfer. Maybe you have a 30 years or 50 years concession. It all, as I said, it depends on many things, on the agreement and stuff. Now, over time, you can now invest your money in that project, or you, depending on the agreement still, you go around to investors and tell them, see, I have this security, this is the business I want to operate. Give me this loan, or buy out some equity that I will use to invest in the business, right? Now, this whole thing it's such that it gives you leverage in the sense that if you have network to investors, you can use other people's money, the bank's money, or private equity investors' money, private credit money, or you use your own money, and then you also have leverage of some of the assets already that the government has given to you. But the thing is that many people do not exactly know that this thing is even possible, and then some of them that know that it's possible do not know how to structure it. Well, I mean, I think I will just probably keep my email somewhere on this video or on the links. If you want consultation, you can consult me. And then this, see, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. I don't want to give background information on how I did any of these projects, and a couple of others I'm actually working on. I've actually worked on both in the finance space, in the business space, in the government space, and I actually believe that this thing can actually develop Nigeria practically, because there are so many things that Nigeria actually does need. Nigeria needs food. Nigeria needs many things. Like I think we imported wheat, a lot of wheat this first half of the year, and I know we also imported about 3 trillion worth of PMS this last half of the year, of which Dangote, I believe he's solving it, or he has solved it. So imagine if you want to go into wheat farming, for instance, and maybe you pick a government, let's say Kaduna State government, because wheat does well in Kaduna, I believe, and then you tell them that, see, I want to own 20,000 hectares of land. Kaduna State has a lot of land. 20,000 hectares of land. You're going to own 40% of this project. You're going to own 30%. I'm going to bring in my investment. I'm going to bring my financial investment, and then you guys have an agreement, deadline sets, working plan sets, and then with 20,000 acres of land, you now farm wheat, and then you can now reduce. You see that the country already imports a lot of wheat, and then there's a ready market already for it. So you most definitely have off-takers from the beginning. From the get-go, you have off-takers. Investors will like that kind of deal because, I mean, their money is secured, the government is securing the land, the off-takers are there ready to take whatever you produce on the spot, because they don't want to import, because importation means FX loss and many things, perhaps. And then you now see that the state maybe has 30% or 40%, depending on the agreement. And then at the end of the year, during dividend sharing, the state has more money based on dividends from profits. And then the state also have taxes on maybe VAT and employee payroll tax, or any other type of tax that the state takes, right? So you see, it's sort of a win-win for both situations, whereby the states have a constant source of revenue, and then you have a leveraged business. Instead, that you have state security, you have state government backing you up, and then you have state land. So you see how PPP can actually solve many issues of industrialization and production in Nigeria, basically. And then another thing, that we have over 220 million people in this country, I believe. So the market is there, but then many people do not believe in Nigeria anymore. And I understand, because we claim to have bad leaders and people that pass policies left and right, and sometimes I wonder what is going on up there. But I don't really know, because I am not up there, so I can't speak for them. But then, if we do these things, I believe that this country can possibly or potentially go a long way in hitting the milestones that it wants to hit in terms of infrastructural developments, agricultural developments, and possibly many other things, right? And the same thing can actually go in for electricity. Like, we know that Nigeria has a lot of electricity deficits. A lot of electricity deficits. And now I believe that there's something called IPP. There's I think now states can produce their own electricity from one of the electricity bills, like that, I believe, something like that. Just look at it and understand it properly. Now, imagine if you go into that kind of thing and you tell maybe a state government, I say, I want to do this for your state, I want to take your state off the national grid, and then this is what I want from you in the PPP, and all the industries in your states, we are going to first of all prioritize the industrial zones in your states, the places where businesses are, give them electricity, they pay us, instead of them to run diesel or run PMS or something like that, generators and stuff like that. We give them these things, they pay us, and then the government have their parts, we have our parts, we bring in investors, we bring in our money, the government bring their land, the government bring their support, and we sign a deal to make this public-private partnership for this electricity work. And you see how this thing can actually solve. I know that I mean the way I say this, it sounds very, very simple, but actually very long gruesome processes, trust me. It depends on the state and it depends on the people you're dealing with, but trust me, it can take you about 2 years to finalize such deals. Maybe a year, sir, if sometimes 6 months or 3 months, but it depends on the government officials and your relationship with them, right? But what I'm telling you is that these things are possible and it can actually work. And I believe Nigeria can work. You get so that's just basically my idea on how we can develop Nigeria and how you can come in to do these things. And as I said before, it sounds very easy to say over the microphone, but I have talking from experience, I have experienced these things happen, right? In so many different states. I have experienced it happen. I've seen it happen in somewhere like Onitsha. I'm telling you, projects have worked in some places. So I might not mention the project names, but I'll just mention the states. I've seen it work in a place like I think Kano. I've seen it work with electricity. That's privatizing some electricity stuff. I've seen it work in Enugu states. I've seen it work in which other state now? I've seen it work in Abuja. So which other project have I worked on? Okay, I've worked on multiple projects in some of these areas. Anambra, Enugu State. I'm working on a couple of others. So they're not necessarily for me because well, let me because out of this, but what I'm telling you is that out of experience, this can work. And I am not somebody that is high and mighty up there. And then the fact that I'm not necessarily high and mighty up there and I'm seeing this in work, I believe it can work because if we put that, I believe that we can actually accomplish or tackle almost anything we put our mind to. So if you can, I mean, just get on with it, like work on it and get on with it and ensure that this country grows. And in fact, let me tell you, there are many people that are willing to, in fact, invest in so many things, particularly in public-private partnerships. I know that there is the AFDP, there is the possibly USAID, there is Afrexim Bank, there is BOI, Bank of Industry, there is United Capital. There are many of them. There are many of them. You get so, and many of these banks are actually very easy to approach. Go to their website, get their contact, email them, call the numbers there, let them refer you, or if possible, some of them have offices in Lagos, Abuja. Walk into their office. Well, just walk into the office and ask them, what's up? How can I get this done? Walk into the office. I know there's also NADF, Nigerian Agricultural Development Fund. There are quite a couple of funds. Walk into the office, man. It can't be, I mean, what's what will happen? They'll tell you not to go in, or they'll just tell you to stay at the gates. Stay there for like a week and get things done. Okay, so I believe with these 3 points of mine, I'm not being able to confuse you, but convince you that through public-private partnership, Nigeria can work, and citizens should actually put their mind towards making it work. Yeah, and we should have integrity when we try to approach the government to make sure these kind of things work. Yeah, so basically that's my 2 cents on all of this and how to develop Nigeria. And as I said before, if you want more information, maybe just comment what you want me to say, or maybe in the next video, or I will keep my email down there. You contact me via my email, or you contact me via my LinkedIn. I think I'll probably keep my LinkedIn stuff there too, so you just contact me via my LinkedIn as well. Let's make this country work. I believe so. Yeah. So if you've not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'm begging you, please subscribe to my channel. Yeah, so that my channel can grow and reach more people and get this kind of information out there. Thank you very much. Peace.